Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to build a bird feeder you can hang out in your backyard and enjoy having tons of birds come to, and we're going to build it for free or for almost free, as close to it as possible. And you only need a couple of simple things to do this. Got to make sure my cat's still back there. She's not an outdoor cat. She wants to be outside, so I'm watching her. So what we're going to use today is a bottle that we had some tea in. You can use, I like these thicker bottles. I do recommend using these. You can use ones that have had orange juice in them, tea, whatever. And this is a good size. Don't get too big beyond this, because the seeds do get pretty heavy when you're hanging them. Has the lid for it, nice heavy lid that screws on the top. So the nice thing about this is I can put my hanging mechanism here, and I can just unscrew it, fill this up with bird feed seeds, and I can put this back on top and hang it. And it's, you know, sealed, protected, all that good stuff. Birds have to have something to sit on though. So you can do this a couple of ways. Now I've seen people just take and drill holes through here. But I don't like that, because the seed you have to have, you know, put holes through here, put sticks through here, and you can only fill your feed up so far. And you got to make a great big old hole here for the birds to stick their head in. And rain gets in there. Good grief, neighbors' kids are going nuts, aren't they? And it gets wet inside there when it rains. It's just a mess. So what I do is use a plate. This is just an El Cheapo 50-cent Wal-Mart plate that you can get everywhere this time of year, because it's back to school. They get these for Halloween. Halloween's coming up right now. In the spring you can get spring ones. This is an old one. After you use these a while, they start to get stuff like this on them from oils and getting scratched up. So I just attach this to this. Since this has a lip on it, I drill a couple of little holes around the edge, or you can take a knife and just screw, you know, do that back and forth to make some holes, whatever. Take a screwdriver and heat it up on the stove and jam it through there, whatever, just anything. Attach that, and you make a couple of little holes around the base here for the seed to spill out into this, and it gives you a huge area for the birds to land. And what mine do is the seed comes out onto here, the birds land on this, they'll see, they're picky. They don't like the seeds that they'll see, so they'll flip it out to let new stuff fall down to get to the stuff that they want, and the stuff that falls out on the ground, and more birds come around to get that. I have literally had like 50 birds around one of these little feeders, either on it or below it, at one time. It's crazy to see how many birds this can attract. So all you need is something to hang it. You can use whatever. I'll show you another one that I've got when I'm done, and show you what I use. I'm going to use this little hook thing that I found. All I've got to do is make me a hole so that I can put it in there enough so that it'll kind of do this, and it'll give me a hook to hang it on. And then I'm going to take some scissors and one of these knives and cut holes here, just a couple of V-shaped holes on either side, so that the seed can come out. And then I'm going to take, I scrounged up a screw, and you can use whatever you want to that you can find to hold this down in here. I've seen people take a coat hanger, drill a hole right here, and of course one in here. Take that coat hanger, straighten it out, but just like curl the end of it up so that it can't go back through the hole. Stick it down through there, because that coat hanger's long. Pull it through until the, you know, the part's down here, and then just kind of bend it off to the side so it can't fall out here. Doesn't need to be anything special, it just needs to hold together. So let's get started and build us a bird feeder. Alrighty, so to start out with, I'm on a glass top table here, so I've got to be really careful. I'm going to take, here, let's do this. I'm going to set this here so I have something that keeps me from hitting the table. I'm going to drill a hole through this. I have a 1/4-inch drill bit. You can just take a knife, carefully make a hole, and just sit here and go back and forth like this and make a hole in it. If you don't have a drill, that's fine. And I'm going to be very careful, because once this grips this, it can try to twist it out of my hands. So I want to be real careful. And go slowly. See how it's starting to go through. See, it's starting to go through. My drill bit's not that sharp, apparently. See it? It went through. There we go. There's our hole. So this is just going to go through here like that. And that's good enough, because when it's hanging, it'll put pressure on it to keep this from coming out. That's all we need. Something simple like that. Nothing fancy. Again, you can use a piece of coat hanger as well. I could take this and just squish it on the bottom so that it can't pull back through as well, and I might do that. I don't think that would be too hard to do. There we go. I just bent it a little bit so it can't pull back through. That gives it something to twist on there. So that part's done. Now I'm going to take my plate and I'm going to drill some drainage holes on this low portion of the lip here in the corner. Okay, and now when it rains, I've got somewhere for the excess water to try to drain out. You may have to adjust the size on these or keep an eye on these. Most of your bird seed is going to be small enough that it can go through that 1/4 inch hole. You can, if you need to, take your drill bit and kind of do this little number here, waller it out, and it gets bigger. But you leave a little bit of flashing here. Just take this and carefully trim that extra off, clean it up, and you've got a little bit bigger hole than you did before. See? So still, I've got the drill, I've got the bits, and I've got all these parts. I haven't spent any money. This is out of my kitchen cupboard right here. So now we need to attach this to this. So we're going to do two things. My screw that I've got here, I found this, I've got a couple of washers on it, but the screw's pretty small, so I'm going to take my bigger 1/4 inch bit here, size it down just a little bit, so that I don't, my bolt doesn't try to go through. Make sure it'll actually fit through. Yep, that fits through. So now, how do we get this in there? That's the hard part, right? Now, you can take my roll of duct tape here and just do this, actually. I've got that. Loop this back over here, and I take like a paintbrush, a stick, whatever, something. I've got an extendable thing. It's actually magnetic, so I could just use that too. Stick that, and now I can stick this down through my bottle and stick that carefully. Whoops. Carefully through the hole. There we go. And now I put my washer. Whoops. Let's put the plate on. Almost forgot the plate. put the plate on without pushing the screw back up through. There we go. And this has a, see how it's got a bump in the middle of it there that caves up there, so you got to use a pretty long screw. It didn't look like that screw was going to have, it looked like a lot was going to be sticking out the bottom, but you end up without that much sticking out the bottom in the end. Tighten that up. If you can get a long screwdriver down in there, use a long screwdriver. Let me lift you up just a little bit, Keith. I think I keep getting you out of frame. But I'm just hand turning this right now, and just that alone is tightening this up really nicely down onto there. That's not going anywhere. But it doesn't hurt to, you know, if you want to take that washer, you can hold on to the nut with a pair of pliers here, or with the bolt, and then turn the washer to tighten this down even further without having to get a screwdriver down inside. And let me show you something real quick. Like, there's my other, you can see my other one hanging out there that I've already got made. And the birds, I'm 10 feet away and my birds are already starting to collect up. They just can't wait. So imagine what it's going to be like having a second one. Okay, we scared them off. Alright, so now we're back to this side where we need to, and I could have done this before I mounted this. I can always take this back off if I need to and do this. But we need to cut holes in here. Now, one way to do this is to use pilot holes, and I think I am going to remove this now that we've shown you how to put it on and we know that it works. I'm going to take it back off real quick, and I'm going to start a pilot hole up here. You don't need to do this. I can just, we'll do one side this way and one side without. There we go. Pilot hole. Pilot hole. Stop moving. Pilot hole. And then we take this and carefully move you back down a little bit again. Take this and carefully, pointing away from you where possible. Here we go. Once you get started, this goes quick, so be careful. Don't push too hard. Here we go. This helps us hit those pilot holes, and I still missed it a little bit over here. And I know I just said away from me. This blade is super dull. There's a chip out of it, I can see. But I can also use scissors. There we go. See if I can use these scissors to kind of make this a little bit wider there. This is real finicky. There we go. It's getting there. Kinda. See if we can do it better with this. There we go. Like I said, be very careful with this and be very patient. Showing you in real time what it's going to take. Now, I did that by drilling pilot holes, and you can see kind of sort of hit them and kind of sort of didn't. So this side, we're just going to go without the pilot holes and just kind of start poking through, and it pokes through pretty easily. We've got one side. There's that. There we go. There's the other side. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be pretty. You just need a couple of holes. So let's put this back through the plate. Put our washer and our nut back on. Hey Biscuit, my cat's back over here. I've got one cat that wants to be an outdoor cat, but she doesn't have the brain power, so I let her out with a harness on, because honestly, if she were to ever get lost, she doesn't have the brain power to find her way back. I love her, but she's not that bright. The other one used to be an outdoor cat that was abandoned. She's learned to be an indoor cat and absolutely loves it. And she stays inside. She's like, I'm not that interested in being out there. Uh-oh, I think something's coming. Alright, sorry about that. The neighbor's cat come up and they're not friends. So I had to get mine inside. So anyhow, we've got this. We've got this. The neighbor's cat's watching a bird over here. Okay, you gotta check this out. Oh, the bird left because I moved. This cat was watching the bird up there thinking it was going to jump up and grab it. Such is the life. We don't know, I'm not real sure where this cat belongs. It doesn't have any tags or collar or anything like that, no identifying marks. My biscuits, my cats are Biscuit and Pepper, so we call this one is almost identical to my orange cat, so we call this one Toast. I have no idea what its real name is. Semi-feral, semi-friendly, very young. You can tell it's really young though. Anyway, back to the bird feeder. Alrighty, so we are going to fill up our bird feeder. I have a little funnel I use. Move back a little bit here. There we go. See, the bird seed comes out the holes just perfectly. You don't have to do anything special. Put this on. Now let's go hang it up. Alright, out at my shepherd's hook. Let's hang this. Kind of hard to do one-handed. Oh, I'm spilling stuff. Hang on. There we go. Okay, there we go. Sorry. One-handed doesn't work too well. There we go. We got another one. And that's exactly the same way that we made this one over here. And pretty close. I've got a bolt drilled through that one as well. Same thing, same concept. And I found an old plant hanger here that has a screw on it, kind of like down here. So I just drilled a hole and put a nut to hold it on from the bottom. Same exact concept. I did put some tape on here to limit the hole because I made my hole size on this one too big. But I've been using this bird feeder for 2 years. And it works beautifully. And I already had the plates. These are just old ones. I replace these plates periodically as they start wearing and getting that ugly, nasty look to them. That's all you got to do. These are so easy to build. We did this almost in real time, and still it took no time. So I absolutely love these. The birds love these. Let's kick back and just see if we can get any to come visit. I'm inside the house right now. It's early morning. I'm trying not to move so I don't scare them off. Got a reflection of my lamp. But look at the birds. Oh my goodness. It's nuts. That's the new bird feeder we just built right there though. Let's see how that works. That plate is perfect. It gives them a good spot to stand and still be able to get to the seed. And if they don't like some of the seed, they'll flip it down below. Oh, there they all go. Bye-bye, birdies. But it works.